Welcome to PCN Life, stories on the lifestyles in our southeastern towns. This week, we bring you local musician Chuck Vermette Sr. for an interview and a song. And we do another segment with life coach Ann Jolace. We're also going to continue our segment, A Day in the Life. And we use that in a broad spectrum because we can talk about businesses, people, careers, something to do with the people or the places in our towns. Now, last time we did a expose on the Mayflower Brewery Company.
Right, that was pretty cool because, you hear the name Mayflower Brewing Company, but that could easily be somebody in the Midwest who's taken advantage of the name, but it's made here. So we're really showcasing some of the businesses around the South Shore that are making things that you may not have known were made here, and the people that make them.
Right.
And what goes into that. So this last time we actually went over to Pembroke to check out this company. Now you're a Pembroke resident, so just kind of...
Well, when you think of Pembroke, you think of almost Smallville. I mean, it's a wonderful little small town. You don't think it being a hub of industry, but you found a very unique organization there that makes something very unique that is used all over the world.
That's true, and they're outfitting places, like you said, all over the world. It's big business, and it's the kind of thing you don't even know exists.
Right.
So check out this story. The town of Pembroke has the charm of any town USA, and that's a good thing. It's here that you'll find little slices of Americana, like the Herring Run, this quaint old building that houses the Historical Society, or this ice cream parlor with the pink truck parked out front. Surprisingly, it's also been the home to the global leader in linear heat detection systems for the better part of the last century. Most, if not all, Pembroke residents know this spot here like the backs of their hands. What they may not know is that just a few hundred feet up the road from this corner of 139 and Route 53 is a company that's been producing fire systems since 1938. Of course, that may leave some people scratching their heads wondering just what exactly is a fire system.
A protector wire fire system is meeting local code. We have fire codes that require specific detectors for specific environments. Smoke detection is what most people are familiar with. That's life safety, and that you'll find in any building that has human occupants requires smoke detection systems. We're in heat detection, the linear heat detector. We're protecting more of materials and equipment than humans. So it's property safety versus life safety. They're two different areas of our industry.
And it's the wire itself that's given the company its name recognition. That linear heat detector wire is being manufactured here on a day-to-day basis. But what makes this wire so special that companies all over the world are being outfitted with it?
Basically, we're taking two steel wires and we're coating each one with a polymer that melts at a specific temperature. We manufacture it to 6 standard temperatures. Once that is done, those two wires, which are both coated, are then twisted, and we tape them to maintain that twist, because the twist is a very important part of its function. After that's done, we extrude a jacket over it to make sure that it's protected from the environment. That makes the linear heat detector. We can produce somewhere in the neighborhood anywhere from 100 to 120,000 feet a day.
As owner Andrew Sullivan mentioned, the fire systems are primarily in place to protect property and things. More often than not, big properties protecting volatile assets. These are the types of places that, if I were to show up with my camera, the Department of Homeland Security would likely be right behind me.
The Pilgrim Station around their transformers has protective wire. Boston Logan Airport in the baggage handling has protective wire.
The business is built around the heavy industries, steel, power, petrochem, transportation.
Don't be surprised if the next time you're out and about, you don't see a protective wire fire system. And it's not just because the systems are well hidden, but also because, as of today, the company does 65% of its sales overseas.
Our biggest customers today are Russia, China. We have a rep office in Beijing. We have a warehouse in Amsterdam. The overseas business is really exciting.
Despite all of the company's global success, the plant that produces the linear heat detector that started as a sketch in the notepad of Gerald Holmes in 1938 is still right here in the town of Pembroke, and will be for the foreseeable future.
A lot of the people that work in this here live in Plymouth, they live in Pembroke, they live in Duxbury, they live in Marshfield, so we're all very, very local. We're very, very proud of our history down here. The company has a long history. We've been here for 80 years. So it's kind of like a real family, hometown organization. It just happens that the product found its way into international markets. And now all of a sudden we find ourselves in a situation where we're being used all over the world.
At the Protect-A-Wire Fire Systems headquarters in Pembroke, I'm Brian Sullivan for PCN Life.
We are very pleased to have back on our set today Ann Jolis, who's a life coach and the author of a wonderful book about the Grace Trail.
Yes.
And the Grace Trail is find your footing and move towards the life that you were meant to live.
Right.
You were here last time in March and we talked a little bit about your book
Yes.
and about the Grace Trail. If you just want to give a brief synopsis of it is before we go into some real
Okay.
heavy stuff.
Okay.
Oh, and before we start,
What?
I need to congratulate you. You
Thank
won
you.
an Artie Award.
I won an Artie. I am so excited about that and honored. The Plymouth Project Arts
Yeah.
surprised me
Yeah.
and invited me to that dinner, and I really had no,
No idea.
idea that I was going to get that. And what fun, what a great group. I mean, that's why I love Plymouth.
Right.
Because there's so many creative, wonderful people, and Plymouth has been nothing but gracious and wonderful to the Grace Trail.
Right.
And that's just one more way that they've supported it.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Tell us about the Grace Trail.
Okay, the Grace Trail is an actual inspirational trail that runs out of Nelson Park on the rail trail down through the field and back. It's about a 1 mile trail, and the word GRACE is an acronym actually for gratitude, release, accept, challenge, and embrace.
Okay.
And so I take 5 beautiful stones, just like this one, I put them along the trail and hung up a map, and people found the trail and started walking it. And as you walk it, the point is to be in a beautiful inspirational spot while you're asking some questions that bring you from the chaos of life towards hope and possibility.
So it's
That
a very
make sense?
personal.
It's very personal. And people are walking it, I'd say thousands have walked it at this point.
Yeah.
Girl Scouts, grief groups, book clubs. There was an adjustment counseling department that all came together and walked it.
Wow.
I mean, people are really using it in wonderful ways. One day I went out and there was a whole bridal party. And
Really?
they decided to really get down and real and talk
Yeah.
about what was going on in their life.
Yep.
And again, move towards hope and possibility, because that's what Grace Trail does.
That's right.
And the funny thing is that Grace Trail started in the gratitude capital of the world.
Yep.
That's what I call Plymouth.
Yes,
That's where
yeah.
Thanksgiving started, and now we have the Grace Trail.
Okay. So last time we talked about the G, or gratitude.
Yes.
And this time we're going to concentrate on the R, which is release.
Yes.
Now, can you define for me what is it to release?
Okay. So all of us walk around with worries and concerns and challenges
And issues.
and issues, right.
The buzzword.
That's right. And I'm going to tell you, the quality of your life and my life depends on our ability to learn how and when to let go. That's
Okay.
what release is.
Okay, letting go.
Letting go. So we have this whole pile of challenges here, right? And it's like this big rock. If we just decided to carry this rock all day with us,
Yeah, it gets
we'd
heavy.
be exhausted.
Yeah, it gets heavy.
Right. So you can learn ways to release or to let go. And one of them is to take your worries or a worry and put it down and look elsewhere.
Okay.
Okay? Or walk away from it.
Okay. But it never really goes away. I mean,
It
the
never really
essence
goes
of
away.
your
Right.
worry or whatever
Right,
it is
doesn't go
still
away.
there.
Right, but your survival and your quality of life and your ability to find joy is going to count on you finding ways to put it down, put it to the side, and turn your attention elsewhere,
Okay.
even briefly.
Okay.
Because some people say to me, well, I'm a caretaker. How can I do that?
Right.
Well, you have to find short ways to do that. All of us have to find short ways to be able to put our worries aside
Okay.
and move forward in the direction of our choice.
Okay.
And then go back and get them if you have to.
Right.
Okay.
Now, with all the things that are going on in the world today,
Yeah.
and it's a very complicated world for everyone, and it's scary to a lot of people.
Yeah.
We really don't have any control over what is happening in the world.
Right.
We only have control over how we're viewing it,
Right.
or how we let it affect us.
Yes.
So talk about how release can help
Okay.
with that, and what strategies parents can give to children.
Okay. So if people remember nothing else from this segment,
Yeah.
our time together today, then they should remember this. When you're confronted with a problem, as a parent,
Yeah.
as anything, and you feel a little overwhelmed, a little confused, or the world feels very uncertain,
Yep.
like you're carrying a big boulder, 2 questions. First question is you ask yourself immediately, what's in my control?
Right.
Okay? Second question is, what's out of my control?
Yeah.
Okay? And then the resilient person focuses on what's in their
my
control
control.
immediately.
Okay.
That's the key and the essence of life, is being able to focus your energies as much as possible on what's in your control.
Okay. So you take the everyday newscasts, you take
Yeah.
what's happening in your town, your city, your country,
Right.
the world, and you say, what can I personally do to either affect it,
Yeah.
make a decision about it,
Yeah.
talk about it,
Yeah.
not talk about it.
Yeah.
So you're basically saying own what it is,
Yeah.
and then decide how you're going to disperse
It
that
is what
in
it
your
is.
life.
That's
Right.
exactly right.
Right.
And I hear a lot of people saying, and myself included, I want to know what's going on in the world, but I am not sitting down to an hour of news at night.
Right.
I'm just not, because it's so negative. It's an amazing negative spiral that goes down.
Yeah.
And so I get my news in very little short snippets. I want to know what's going on in the world, but I don't want to carry that big boulder around.
Right.
Because again, the 2 questions, what's in my control? One of the things in my control is to eliminate or decrease as much as possible the things in my life that drain my energy.
Yeah.
And the news is
Right,
one of them.
right.
So that's in my control. I mean, I
right.
can't affect world news, but I can affect how much I get of it and how I get it.
And how you react to it, or don't
Yeah,
react to it.
right, exactly.
Right.
That's right.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it really does. And on a more local level,
Yes.
in your own local life,
Yeah.
you get up in the morning, you have breakfast,
Yeah.
you get your kids off to school, your wife or husband or
Yeah.
whatever is gone, and
Yeah.
you get in your car and you go to work.
Yeah.
Where does release play in that?
You are driving to work, you're driving wherever you're going, and if you find yourself, ruminating and going over the same problems, the same things, it's like carrying this big stone with you.
Yep.
Okay, it's going to exhaust you. Just ask the 2 questions. With that issue, with that problem, what's in my control?
What
What's
is not?
out of my control?
Okay.
Out of my control goes over to this little pile over here.
Yep.
And what's in my control is where you focus your energies.
Right. Now, release is the second part
Yes.
of the Grace Trail. You
Right.
start with gratitude,
Yep.
then you go to release. Why is it so important that release is second? I mean, logically, you kind of think that release would be at the end.
Yeah, that's really a great question.
Okay.
And I was on a phone call with a lot of professional coaches the other night, and there was one woman there who was specifically a grief coach.
Counselor, yeah.
A grief coach.
Yep.
And so she said, Ann, let me tell you why I love grace. She said, you start with gratitude, which makes you feel and locate everything in your life that's going right.
Yeah.
And no matter how bad things are, you can always find something going right. If
Absolutely.
you're sitting, breathing, that's
Right, you're
pretty
alive.
good. Yeah, you got that. Okay. So then you go to R, and she said, so many people want to go straight to acceptance, which is the next letter in
Yep,
grace, is
yep.
acceptance. She said, you cannot accept until you let go.
Go, yeah.
She said, and sometimes in her practice, and it's not a therapeutic practice, it's a coaching practice. She said, we could spend weeks on letting go. Because sometimes we're not even sure what we need to let go of, or
Right.
what we can let go of.
Right.
And so it's really spectacular that it's the second letter.
Yeah.
Because we really need to lighten our load.
Yep.
Because picture putting the rock down.
Yeah, I'm
You
getting
relax.
now. You keep referring to the rock,
Yeah.
and it's something. It's wonderful because it's a mental image
Yeah.
that you can. When you're asking the 2 questions, what's
Yeah.
in my control, what is not in my control,
Right.
the rock is in your control.
Right.
Are you going to
What
hold
do
it,
you
or are
wanna
you
do?
going to put it down?
Right.
That's,
Or
yeah.
you know what else you can do? Break it up into little pieces.
Ooh,
Put parts of it down.
sledgehammer.
Yeah.
Now, in our last couple of minutes, you were going
Yeah.
to tell me about a trip you took to the South.
Oh yeah, we had so much fun. My husband and I decided to take a vacation, which we have not done in a while.
Yep.
And he had the idea. He said, "Let's spread some stones, grace stones, throughout the South."
Yep.
So we landed in Charleston, South Carolina, and we started with we left this little note that said, "Congratulations,
Okay.
you've been graced, and you've been touched by grace." And then we left
A stone.
A stone. This
Yep.
one happens to say, "Release."
Yeah.
And I would pick a bench or a place that was someplace where people may slow down and
Yeah,
notice something.
yeah.
I'd put it down there and just leave it.
So someone will find it.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
serendipity. People
Yeah.
would walk by and
They'll find it, they'll
stop
read it.
and
What
find
is
it.
this?
That's right. And it has the 5 words of grace. It
Yeah.
has the questions, and on the back it talks about the TEDx talk that I gave
Yeah.
on cracking the grace code,
Yeah.
and my Facebook page and my book.
Yeah.
So we were in Burlington, Vermont last week, and I put one on the bench next to us. I said, let's just see what happens. It was so funny. These two women just walk along, and they were like, what's that? And one woman picks it up. She's like, oh my gosh. She goes, what are you grateful for? She says to her friend. And she went through the whole thing.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And then she said, I love this. Put it in her pocket and left.
'Cause
So
it makes people talk.
exactly.
It's a wonderful talking point, and it's a
Exactly.
great first question is, what are you grateful for?
It makes you feel safe, doesn't it?
And we're grateful that we have you.
Oh, thank you.
Because
I'm
you're
so
very,
grateful
it's
to be
very
here.
nice to have an enlightening, positive spirit.
Oh, thank you.
You know, that we can keep coming back to you
Yeah.
and talk about the Grace Trail. So we'll have you again back,
Great.
and we'll talk about acceptance, which
Yes,
is the
we
A.
will. Yep.
With GR, we're going to work on A.
That's
Thank you
right.
so much,
Thanks
Ann.
so much.
Good to see you.
Yep.
And we're going to move on to arts and entertainment, where we have a wonderful local musician.
Went off the road, but the creek was too deep. Tried to climb the hill, but the hill was too steep. Should have stayed on the road that's narrow and straight. Should have paid the toll, but I didn't want to wait. Now I'm stuck in a rut and I can't break free. Tried to fool God and God fooled me. Preacher pointed to the verse, said I had no choice. Then I went and spent my tithe on a new Rolls Royce. The fear of judgment took my soul and took my mind. Now the judgment that I need's been left behind. Tomb's been open, but I still can't see. Tried to fool God and God fooled me. He's a God of mercy, so my friends all say. He's also one of justice, and it's time for me to pay. Talking about things that I don't know. Going to places I should not go. Well, they tell me I'm a charmer and a damn good flirt. So why am I trapped, overwhelmed, and hurt? Following her like a lambing to the sea. Tried to fool God and God fooled me. He's a God of mercy, so my friends all say. He's also one of justice, and it's time for me to pay. Talking about things that I don't know. Going to places I should not go. Well, they tell me I'm a charmer and a damn good flirt. So why am I trapped, overwhelmed, and hurt? Following her like a lambing to the sea. Tried to fool God and God fooled me. Tried to fool God and God fooled me. Tried to fool God. Tried to fool God. Tried to fool God. And God fooled me.
Chuck Vermette Sr., welcome aboard, mister. The musical,
be here.
the musical stylings of Chuck Vermette. You know, I actually watched some of your YouTube videos. That song there had some almost Nick Cave influences, but when I saw your videos, you're all over the board. So you're playing a lot of different stuff. Tell me about your background, how you got into music, and what your singing style. It's very dramatic.
I basically take in every musical influence I can. I was born into a family of musicians. My father was an exceptionally open-minded musician. He had he apprenticed for a big band when he was 15 before World War II, but he was also very open-minded to the Beatles and to what was going on. And he always encouraged me to, diversify. try to be as musical as I could. So among other things, I mean, my roots are in 60s rock, in particularly 60s folk rock, but I also, along the way, I've taken classical guitar training, jazz guitar training, and formal voice.
So tell me about the formal voice training, because that's not your run-of-the-mill. It's, like I said, it's very dramatic. What is that style of training?
It's specifically baritone classical music, a lot of things in German. I work for a German company, and show music, musical theater, which I just discovered late in life.
Now, the guitar has a great sound to it. I notice you're going with the semi-hollow body. And I notice on your videos, this seems to be your guitar of choice. Tell me about that and why.
Two important reasons. One, with the formal training, a normal acoustic guitar compresses my chest. Also, playing in a bunch of styles, a hollow body guitar has a wide range of tones that I really like, and it covers what I do.
Now, I noticed there's a senior title. Is there a junior that you're also sharing the limelight with right now?
Yes, and as a matter of fact, he works in Plymouth, and he's a much better musician than I will ever be. In fact, he bought this guitar because I wanted to get another name brand model that was much more expensive, and he found this, which is about 90% of the guitar, at a third of the price.
Yeah, that's nice. The Epiphone actually makes a really good guitar. Anything coming up for you? What's on the horizon?
Well, I am proud to be singing the national anthem in America the Beautiful at the Norwell Memorial Day Parade on Memorial Day. And I'm also doing a feature at the Catbird Cafe in Weymouth on June 17th. It's in the New England Wildlife Center.
Awesome. Do you have time for us for another song? And is there anything you'd like to play?
I certainly would.
All right.
And
before we get to it, I just want to thank everybody for watching PCN Life. For more information and replays, you can check out the PACTV website. We leave you now with another song from Chuck to close us out. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. This is called A Little 2-7 for me. A little 2-7 for me. I know where this is going, to 5 or 3. Be going through the motions, but all I see is a score 2-7 for me. I want a new song I haven't done before, with a new verse that doesn't go 1 to 4, a one-note solo like a bagpipe's drone, hoping there's a turnaround with a passing tone. Want to start a new section in a brand new key, not a score 2-7 for me. A little 2-7 for me. I know where this is going, to 5 or 3. Want to start a new section in a brand new key, not a quarter 2-7 for me. Not a quarter 2-7 for me. Not a quarter 2-7 for me.